Hello and welcome to Dice Punks, a tabletop role-playing podcast where we focus on playing full campaigns in less well-known systems. This week, our meat punks meet the richest man in the world. Hello and welcome. I'm Drew, your friendly neighborhood game master, shaper of the meat, provider of complications, and joining me are...
Hi, I'm Adam, and I'll be playing Radagonda, aka Rad, who we're discovering collects goth ex-boyfriends like Pokemon.
Hi, I'm Robin, and I'm in my Vizura.
You can't see it, dear listeners, but I'm giving Robin a very flat look there.
A bombastic side-eye.
Weapons grade side-eye, yes.
I'm Dez, and I will be playing Bill Cunningham. He's now worried that this might not be a hallucination, but he's found a very lovely boy to spend time with.
If you're going to wake from a lucid dream, or better yet, worse yet, half-wake, someone dreamy really helps to bridge the gap between dream and reality. So, thank you for being here, dear players. We're back to, I think, conclude this arc in Heather Flowers and Aura Belle's Extreme Meatpunks Forever system. Content warnings are once again in order for body horror, dysmorphia, dismemberment, political violence, and gore. Gore. So much gore. Last time... Robin's here for it.
I mean, also, as so much of the violence is against the fash, it's all political at that point. But it's also all survival.
Yeah. All violence, like all art, is political. I don't know what point I think I'm making here. Last time, we rejoined our punks after a 2-week interval during which much of the infrastructure of Mas Dida, good news including the cops, bad news including lots else, just sort of disappeared. Bill, Rad, and Viz, along with Olivia, Kay, Darcy, Robert, that Rad's ex-boyfriend, and also Rad's remaining slime clones. There's some slime clones just sort of kicking around. And also Smallvarther had made a go of making a new sort of town in the absence of the old one. Things were going well, give or take a ghost wandering the beach at night, a locked convention center that may or may not have had a cult inside it, and a sense of impending dread. Just, the normal one, the one we're all used to. Our punks made their way to the girl boss President Reagan Ronald Center for Leaning In. On their way, they did not run into the ghost that had apparently been wandering the beaches, and they didn't run into the men moth that had been seen hovering about. But they did see a statue of girl boss President Reagan Ronald, which Viz utterly destroyed, whereupon the cult was no longer inside the convention center, but pouring out of it. They'd been waiting for the arrival of the richest man in the world, who had simply never shown up. And there seemed to have been no kind of nuts they hadn't gone. So they attacked. One sank down, best not to think about where. Another, Viz plunged into that self-same abyss, breaking its grip finger by finger, looking death in the face. Rad dispatched another, looking very cool for Olivia. The one like an owl tore up the one with the longest limbs. Andrew, another of Rad's Arzian exes, showed up just in time to fight two enormous, recently encrabbed crab creatures who emerged from the sea. Bill managed to argue them away, but in the process, Andrew was flung somewhere. And, as things seemed to be going fairly well, as uncountable weasel eyes stared unblinking from the dark of the convention center, contemplating retreat or surrender, just then, the mech, like an owl, rose on broken wings and saw the approaching metercade, and said, "He's here."
Metercade?
Metercade.
I should have said it as it crossed my mind, because we would have all been in unison.
I'm glad that didn't go unnoticed. Not a word from the rulebook, just felt right.
Very meaty.
Yes, why thank you. He, listeners may recall, is the richest man in the world. Though I should note that while I was reading these last few paragraphs, he stopped being the richest man in the world, having, fun fact, lost a sum of money that would, if spent, have been sufficient to end all hunger in Meat World. So that's fun. But he's coming. It's actually not quite accurate to say that he's here. The host, the metercade that is approaching, is so large that you can hear it rumbling on the horizon well before it will actually arrive in Mas Dida. And that means you have some time to make a plan. Before you do, though, we should, yes, I see 2 questions.
Mine was really more of a reminder about end of session stuff from last time.
That was exactly where I was about to go.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect.
Okay. So little faith they have in me, and the thing is they're correct not to have it. I was going to say that I skipped over the end of session stuff, most saliently whether each of our player characters feels closer to or farther from their mech. This has immediate mechanical implications, so let's maybe go in introduction order. Rad first.
My impulse is to say that this is maybe more time in the mech, doing combat stuff and work stuff than Rad has spent before, but it's not qualitatively different. So I think I'm probably about the same in terms of closeness to my mech.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
When you said you got closer last time, did I remind you to increase your sinew by 1?
No.
Then increase it by 1 now, please.
I shall.
This is not super important because you did not die last time, but FYI, when you get closer to your mech, you gain 1 sinew. If you are farther from your mech, you lose 1 sinew, but you also get 1 extra experience point. Yes, Rad.
What's the max for mech attributes?
So 3 is the highest it can go. So if you were already at +3 at the beginning of last session, then I didn't screw up too badly,
or at all.
And I got away with it. Wahaha. Viz.
I'm on the fence about this one because, realistically, whenever I'm in my mech, I feel closer to my mech. However, I did stare down death.
Your mech did get spooked in mechanical terms. Whether that makes you closer to or farther from it is sort of a character decision. The mechanical implication is just that you and your mech together, to whatever degree those 2 things are separate, are going to have a harder time killing. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you feel farther apart because you might be feeling it and your mech might be feeling it, etc.
So a shared experience. So I'm just going to keep saying I'm closer because it doesn't really mechanically affect my sinew of 3, but I like it for my character.
I think that makes perfect sense. For the record, I too... it's good. All right. Bill.
I am approximately as close. Yeah, this isn't new territory fighting weasel douche canoes in my mech. The crabs were a slightly different experience, but in detail, not in qualia. So yeah, more time in the mech.
Okay. What is your sinew at currently?
It's capped at 3, separate from the closeness or distance from.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'll remind the listener that, all of these characters were sort of designed from the ground up to feel especially close to their mechs. Not for any sort of philosophical reason, just because it seemed the most interesting to all of our players, I think. All right.
I am literally always connected to mine, so there is that as well.
You and Rad both, and Viz would certainly like to be in a more permanent way. So Viz is in fact dripping with jealousy and crying a single tear. So, you have got some time to plan. You can't be sure how much time. The owl guy, the owl weasel strange man, is already crawling out of his mech. He has taken this to be a time to prepare. So he clearly doesn't think that the fight is continuing. He looks a bit confused. He keeps looking in Viz's general direction. You'll recall that he thought everyone was Viz for a while. Whatever he saw when he rose to the sky seems to have snapped him, not out of it, but it seems to have snapped him.
Oh, good.
So my inclination, did I get a good look at which direction Andrew flew off in?
You didn't. Nobody got a really good look. He was fighting the mega crabs on the beach. The beach also seems closer, by the way, than it might have been before. Not sure why that might be. As far as beginning of session stuff, this is a little bit interesting because we are sort of in medias mech.
Okay.
Things are definitely in progress, but you have a moment's reprieve. So it is totally up to you whether you would like to get out of your mechs, as Owl Guy seems to be doing, or whether you would like to not do that. In mechanical terms, getting out of your mech for a while would sort of have the effect of giving you a moment to gather your bearings as a physical body. It would mean you'd get to roll your sinew stuff again. In Viz's case, that gets a little squishy because does Viz ever want to be outside of their mech? Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure. Does Viz want to be something other than their mech? I'm pretty sure the answer is no. But that's sort of up to you. I think we will, at the beginning of this, as we begin to sort of make a plan for whatever's going to happen next, do beginning of session rolls. Even though the story has sort of not, we're picking up 1 second after we left off last time, right. But even so. Yeah.
A couple of notes on that, sort of related to end of session things and the dream slurry that we asserted could in fact relieve Robert's status. Per the rules, it cannot, but we will say that instead, as we agreed off air, that I used both of my wizard holds to relieve it instead, since I had not spent them on anything else.
Indeed. So that was more effective than it otherwise could have been. I should mention, Robert, for his part, has not said much. In fact, has not said anything, but does seem to be moving around of his own power. There seems to be marginally less smoke coming out of his mech's head. There also seems to be no smoke coming out of the chest cavity, where his body would be at this point. So that is probably a very good sign.
Yes, and I suppose also I should ask you as the GM whether you have a question that you would like me to answer for Robert for the memory that he got from drinking the nostalgia shake intestine product.
Remind me the exact wording here. What is it? What is it that needs to be asked?
I this is a pure flavor thing. It is just he drank liquefied bittersweet memories, as I have shorthanded it on my character sheet. So presumably he has some insight into my memories.
Yes, indeed. So when Robert can speak again, expect the first thing he says to have a lot to do with something you may or may not wish to remember.
Yep.
Chekhov's awkwardness has been placed upon the mantle.
In terms of deciding mech disposition and stuff for me, I guess it basically depends on two things. How is it going to be easier to try and use the time we have to figure out what happened to Andrew and whether he's okay or not? And also, my sinew move on any kind of success involves adding someone to the scene, which is how we got both Robert and Andrew. So
yes,
I kind of feel like I at this point should collaborate with our meat master here on whether or not that's why I said it. But
for the record, I hate it too, and that's why I'm glad he said it. Yeah,
I think Meat Mister is better.
Meat Mister, that might be worse.
Meat Meister
might somehow be worse. I do actually. I should say my name in Zencastr right now is Diemeester Singer, Diemeester Zinger, I suppose, von Nürnberg, presumably. All right, I'm going to say that actually everyone is going to get to roll their sinew move again, regardless of whether they stay in their mech, because I don't want to sort of incentivize a weird gamey thing where you hop out and hop back in. So whether you want to search for Andrew by mech or by foot is sort of an in-character decision.
Okay.
As to what might be easier if you are not in your mech, you're pretty sure what's coming down from the east on the horizon is something you're not going to be able to handle alone. So it's probably good that you're not alone. Increasingly, people are pouring out of houses because they hear the rumbling too. In fact, people and slime clones are pouring out of bars and tattoo parlors. So if you want to sort of meet with people, we'll talk more about what that means in a moment. Mechanically, meet with people. Then you may want to be unmech'd. If you want to cover as much ground as possible and search for Andrew, you may wish to stay mech'd. But before we get to any of that, I think we have a bedeviled skin crust roll, since this is a new session.
Woohoo! I have a 6 and a 3 with my sinew plus 3 is the 10 plus.
12.
Excellent. So a wild success.
Yes. And that means that I'm very happy. I one of the comments I made leading up to the session was how much I wanted a 10+, just so my life coach can tell me something that they think is cool.
Girl Boss President Reagan Ronald is being rushed to the hospital. An EMT on the scene said that the former president had simply been owned too hard, before shaking the thought away, wondering why they'd thought it. Not sure how we came to know this.
I love this so much.
Yep.
I Robin love this. Viz probably is very confused about the whole vernacular.
I'm going to roll chill for my being a wizard.
Yes, you do be wizard. I should point out very briefly that the life coach being aware of the news is new. How they may have come to gain that ability or what frequency they're tuning into is not clear, probably to you or to the life coach at this moment.
I'm okay with it. It's perplexing and delightful. I
Just
do get a hold
Viz
out
would
of
be
that,
aware
though.
of. Yeah. You do get a hold out of that. That's true. Okay. Yes. Please continue to be a wizard.
10 on the roll, so 12 on the total.
Well done. Very wizardy.
2 holds.
Wizardier by the moment.
We'll see if I actually use them this session.
I have a feeling you might. All right. So, have I forgotten more stuff, or are we now ready to begin making a plan?
We're doing a great job.
I think we're probably about ready to begin making a plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you're not sure quite how much time you have. You know that the weasel folk have their own concerns at the moment, and they don't seem to be fighting you in any way. There's nothing physically stopping you from crushing Owl Guy like a bug. That might put another fight on your hands, and there might be better uses of your time. That's completely up to you. As I say, the people of Mas Dida are pouring out of houses. Andrew is in absentia. Robert is silent and smoking, though smoking less.
I guess my inclination is to call for a huddle so that we can start getting people who are pouring out of their houses either organized to help us or to safety and figure out a plan to check on Andrew.
Fair enough.
I will probably
really just for the listener's visual, it doesn't really affect much mechanically. Do you all stay in your mechs when you huddle?
I probably exit my mech so that I can better sign without having to do so by tentacle.
That is probably harder to read. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless ordered to do so, I awkwardly crouch as low as possible in my mech to be part of the huddle, which is unsettling because my mech does in fact resemble imported carcinization.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get out of my mech so that it's easier to talk to Olivia, Bill, Kay, Slime Clones, Robert, if he can get out of his mech and or speak.
Yeah, it'll take a beat for Robert to react, but we'll say that Kay and Olivia are also getting out of their mechs for the huddle. Darcy also seems to have appeared out of nowhere. Tends to go where Olivia goes in general, and increasingly where Rad goes. Let the listener know that Adam just waved in a rather adorable manner. Darcy does not precisely wave back, but does sort of flare her eyes and gives you that "I'm going to rub my head on you" look that cats are wont to give.
I will drag my attention away from the adorable feline, etc. But basically kind of try to get the planning discussion rolling because I would very much like to know whether or not Andrew is a smoking crater and or a crab. So as everybody kind of comes up, I guess I'll start with that seemed like it went pretty well. Is everybody okay?
Yeah, we seem to work well together, Kay says.
Hell yeah.
Who was the bald guy?
Oh, that was Andrew. We used to date. I'd actually really like to go look for him or have somebody go look for him or just make sure he's okay. But I figured we should probably touch base first. Robert, are you all right?
Robert lets out a very loud sizzle, or rather his mech does. It then slumps over and out falls an unconscious but definitely breathing Robert.
I catch the mech, but not him.
I catch him, but not the mech.
I'm gonna call both of these things very slightly dangerous or dicey. Would you mind both rolling get shit done?
Sure, that is guts
That
or
is
chill?
2d6 plus chill. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Chill is my actual good stat.
Mine too.
9 on the dice becomes 11.
Yeah, 6
Very
on
good.
dice becomes 8.
Very, very good. Okay. So an 8 is in that range where there's a slight complication. So we'll say that the mech is worse for wear. The smoke has done some stuff to it. The mech is smoked. Whether it's going to be usable should it come to a fight again, in the likely event that it comes to a fight again, remains to be seen. However, Robert falls into Bill's arms, opens his eyes just as he does so, and says, "Thank you." Smoke pours out of his mouth as he does so and forms a sort of a smoke ring.
Smoke heart.
With a little arrow through it.
Let's actually say it's in 2 lines and they sort of embrace Bill's head. They go around him.
I will set him carefully on his feet, but like make sure that he can hold his feet rather than like, oh yeah, you're good now. Slumps over.
He is keeping an arm on your shoulder, but he does seem to be able to stand under his own power. He just
That's
seems
fine.
unsure of how... He seems surprised at the fact, I guess is the way to say it. So yeah, he says, no, not a bad way to wake up. And he joins the huddle as best he can.
All right. Well, it looks like everybody's kind of coming out to see what's going on, so we should probably have somebody figure out, I don't like the sound of what's coming in, so maybe, we should try to keep people either clear or, at least organized. We should probably also, well, I can go look to see what's up with Andrew. I don't want to put that on anybody else, but maybe Robert should sit the next bit of this out. You look like you could just use some time off your feet is all.
No, never better, he says, almost falling.
I will
I'm
just
gonna
sort of look at him like,
Belle.
really?
You can hear the smaller of the 2 rad clones' voices off in the distance, by the way. There seems to be a crowd gathered. She is up on some sort of box or something, being quite small. You're not sure how she's doing, but she's definitely trying to organize.
Okay, well, I'm going to just, at this point, I guess, kind of look plaintively at Olivia.
Okay,
Drew.
I'll go with you. We'll find the guy who's one of your exes. I should have assumed whenever anyone shows up at this point. And someone should probably go make sure that the crowd is being, steered in the right direction.
How do we organize people? They're so messy.
You're telling
Question,
me.
Drew.
That's true facts.
Can I use one of my wizard holds to remove an obstacle or barrier, namely whatever distance might be, and, anything else, crabs, water, etc., that might be between Rad and the latest X?
Sure. Okay, you're removing an obstacle or barrier, so essentially you're using the hold to remove the space between the 2 of them.
I mean,
and anything.
I, Bill, probably don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just hoping that he shows up soon.
Sure. So what happens is what you intended to happen, more or less. I should say, with everything happening last time, we didn't really linger on a description of Andrew's mech, but of course Rad would know it on sight. This mech looks like an enormous human skeleton, flesh hanging off of it, but the elbows and knees having the bone exposed and sharpened to razor points. What slumps out of the sky and lands on part of the convention center, crushing a bit of it, doesn't look precisely like that. It is indeed the skeleton mech, but the long, bony arms do not any longer end in human hands, but in crab claws. The torso is no longer a skeletal rib cage, but rather a crab's shell, with many impressions of Andrew's face, screaming. Whether this scream is in triumph, or fear, or pain, or some other emotion available only to crabs, and what has become of the person inside the mech, you couldn't say. It's here, though.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna run over there, stopping just short of close enough for thrashing to be a problem, and just kind of call out, Andrew, you okay?
Fuck! You hear from inside the mech.
I'm gonna come help you out of there. I'm gonna start kind of figuring out a way to get up towards the, I don't know what you'd call it, pilot ventricle.
Sure. The pilot ventricle is actually extremely correct, I dare say. Tell me, actually do this for me. Could you roll something that we've not used so far? But no, actually, this is only for player characters, so ignore me. We will hang on to that till later. Just roll get shit done for me with plus chill, because you are trying to open a mech, the shape of which has never been seen before.
5.
You don't know where the opening is. The entirety of the shell is Andrew faces. You could reach for what looks like an orifice. Maybe he would come out of one of the eyes or one of the noses or one of the mouths, but you would just be feeling around to figure out which one. For Rad, this is Tuesday.
Poking around random orifices. Yeah.
Indeed. Such is life. Who among us?
I think I'm gonna be all right, Andrew, if you could just say something long enough for me to track down where in here your voice is coming from, maybe I can figure out how to get you out of there.
This is the worst trip I've ever fucking been on. What is happening? Why can't I feel my fingers?
I don't want to think about it, but I do want to get you out of there, so I'm going to follow the sound of his voice.
You don't want to think about it.
I doubt he will be able to see my sympathetic wince.
He tries to say something else, and it comes out.
Oh, God damn it.
I have no idea how much of that the mic picked up.
That was fantastic. I hope the mic picked up all of it because I could hear the crab bubbling.
Yeah, no, that was very good. And also, did he just walk up out of the water then?
I think he just fell out of the sky.
Oh, okay. Even better. Wizard shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wizard shit. A wizard did in fact do it. So,
yeah. So I'm going to go to the part of it that his voice seems to be most coming from and try an orifice, I guess.
Sure. Which
That's
orifice?
what she said.
When in doubt. These are all I will remind you and the listener. These are all faces. There's a limited number of orifices available here.
I'm going to try to stick with mouths then. That seems like the least potentially fatal.
There is one face toward the center where you have a decent idea, the entrance to a mech would be. This part has a sort of two-faced Andrew. The mouth bifurcates into something like two mouths. You take one mouth in your left hand and you take one mouth in your right hand and you pull apart. And the two faces pull apart as well, imperfectly. It sounds like you might have broken something minor, but they open and Andrew falls out.
Good.
Andrew is not a crab, not exactly, but he's also not a human, not exactly. His eyes are a little more crab-like. He's still bald.
Are they on
but there are
stalks?
Patches of... What's that?
Are they on stalks?
If you look closely, just a little. A crab would find the stalk really insufficient, but a human would find it quite excessive.
Ah, the terrible middle ground.
Beautiful.
He couldn't feel his fingers because he only sort of has them.
Yeah,
He doesn't quite have crab claws either. It'd be like wearing a mitten. There's probably fingers in there somewhere.
Well, I'm glad
Not quite live long and prosper, which is sort of what Des is doing.
Well, step one is he's out, so I'm gonna go try and help him to his feet and be like, oh, okay, thanks a lot for your help in that dust up, but we're gonna get you somewhere where you can lay down and maybe, hopefully,
lie back and
recover.
Think of things, not crabs.
Well, thanks. It's really good to... He says.
Yeah, no, it's great to see you too. I wish it could be under chiller circumstances. Maybe once we, take care of all of this, we can just kind of hang a little bit and catch up. How you been doing? While we're talking, I'm walking him over, to, at the very least, somewhere where he could sit down.
He's still a touring musician. He tells you some stories from the road. Every so often it disintegrates into bubbling, and at one point a bubble so large that it is larger than his head emerges. He waits patiently for it to pop and then stops talking for a while.
Okay. Kind of pat his arm, and then once I have him comfortably seated, hopefully a little bit out of the way, I will be like, hey, I wish I could kind of just kind of sit at the bedside and just kind of chat to you a little bit. Hopefully we'll be able to do that in a minute, but for the meantime, think people thoughts, and I'm going to try to take care of whatever that is, and then hopefully we'll be able to just get you back on your feet.
There's no one I'd rather be a crab with. He says, and he sort of squeezes your shoulder very gently because he's not sure how much claws contain in terms of tensile strength.
Yeah, I'm gonna use all of my honey artist, shall we say, mustard to give him just a perfectly unconcerned, happy to see you smile, and kind of pat his hand on my shoulder, and then try to go get back into the mix of getting everybody where they should be for whatever's coming.
He melts, and this is inappropriate, but you can't help thinking it, drawn butter.
Hmm.
Damn it, Drew.
You're welcome. Also, I'm sorry. Also, I'm not. So,
yeah,
what's everyone else getting
not,
up to during
that's
this?
ideal.
During this interlude in which we remember once again that cryptids like Rad and Rad likes cryptids. What's everyone else getting up to?
Aside from watching the crab with envy.
There doesn't have to be anything other than that.
Just
Trying to get someone to diagnose Robert's mech for what is going wrong with it and the smoke and whatever.
Kay is already stomping over there and is going to have a look, unless someone stops them.
No, I'll ask if I can help. Knowing very little about mechs, but
oh, you say you don't know much about mechs, but you seem to know a whole lot about wizard shit. So yeah, come on over.
I mean, I just sort of do things. They happen, but sure.
I mean, we all do things. They all happen, but sometimes you got to work at it, have a tool or something. You just seem to bend reality to your will and shit. It's great.
Unintentionally, but I am ruling that I am not even going to try to prevent out of character this from being a glow teeth statement. I do what I can.
Kay says, "Don't we all?" But their eyes are wide. You walk over to the mech. I think I'm going to ask you to assess the situation as best you can.
Is that
would
attention?
You mind? That is, figure shit out. So roll plus attention.
That is 7.
That's a 7. So to your untrained eye, this mech looks smoky, which it is, undoubtedly. So that's an accurate statement, but maybe not a sufficient one. Kay has already sort of gone into the chest cavity, is cleaning some kind of smoky goop off of the neural spike, is throwing a couple of parts behind themselves, and will probably be a minute before there's a whole lot you can do. Viz, are you just staring at the crab while this happens?
Can I declare some manner of gear that might be helpful?
Oh yeah, you do have some gear. Yes. Remind me what your gear count is there, Bill?
Gear count is 4, and I think the only gear really declared is the reagent from our first session that turned into a black and purple crown of still actual flowers that may or may not still be atop my head.
That's up to you whether it is, for the record.
Honestly, it's been 2 weeks, so it would be really funny if it was.
Then it is. So you can declare that other gear was with you the whole time if you can give me a plausible reason why you might have it. I'll also mention, not that I necessarily have an immediate suggestion for this, that we decided Smallvarther can breathe fire, but only sometimes. It'll count as one of your gears should he do so.
If Smallvarther breathing fire would be helpful in this situation, I'm happy to declare that. Otherwise, whatever the most, awkward and comprehensive, mech repair tools, kit, whatever, that you can think to have stored in my, roiling flesh tubes of a mech. Not really susceptible to tools, but, I'm new here. I was sold this thing. I have it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to say, since you're new here, you at one point spent a probably ridiculous amount of your money, maybe most of your money, since you didn't think money was real.
Probably before I met Rad and so on.
Indeed. You bought the equivalent of somewhere between a multi-tool and a tire iron. This is it looks like a very large bone spur is basically what it looks like. And when I say very large, I mean about the size of a medicine ball. This is something that you could use to work on a mech if you were extremely skilled. You would have to watch your hands very carefully. Do you present this to Kay?
Absolutely, with a wide-eyed, innocent look of, hey, would this be helpful to you?
You're a motherfucking wizard. You know that about yourself? All right. This is actually extremely helpful. I'm going to need a moment to clear this goop up. What is it? You're very funny. All right, I'm going to get to work.
No. That was an actual question. Rad yelled at me for a solid 20 minutes upon seeing that I bought this thing with most of my money.
Oh, you're serious? Well, this is the piece that connects the neural spike to the rest of the mech, but it can't break by definition without killing you. I don't know how it happened in this case, so it never needs to be replaced unless you also need to be replaced. But you just happen to have a spare? Wizard?
This does explain why Rad saw fit to yell at me for 20 minutes on seeing I had one, so yeah.
It'd be like carrying around a spare head for yourself. Not very practical, but impressive.
That pulls my attention away from the crowd.
Kay is one of my favorites.
Kay does not notice that you're looking. They are already pulling the neural spike out. And they've never done this before because, again, this would almost be an impossible thing to have to do. But they're making a go of it. Viz, how's that staring going?
At some point, I started to realize if you've ever looked at someone else and thought, wow, maybe I should get those clothes, and then realize that the style just looked good on them, but you definitely would not be able to pull it off. I'm starting to process this facet of my crab staring when I hear the comment about carrying around a spare head, and that finally pulls my gaze away. At which point I realized that we spoke of trying to organize the crowds, but no one is going about doing so I'm going to take a crack at that.
All right. So you go over. Do I assume you go to where a crowd is already gathered, where Slimaganda the Lesser is speaking? Not the lesser, the smaller.
What is Slimaganda saying to kind of make sure I'm not just appearing?
She is currently saying, the simple fact of the matter is, we should panic. We're all gonna die. Make peace with your god or gods or whatever you have, because this is it, people.
Can I scuttle a leg out and kind of push her aside? Very gently nudge her out of the way, like,
hey, Viz, be with you in a moment, everybody. Keep panicking.
I do not think... well, actually, let me consult Life Coach on how to talk to these people, because I don't think that panicking is the solution.
I love the notion of a life coach demon assisting with panics.
Panic is indeed unhelpful. The old world is dying. The new struggles to be born. Now is the time to chill the fuck out.
I repeat the latter half of that. Like,
everyone, so some people were in the process of panicking. They looked as though they were about to start generally trashing the place and or making peace with their god or gods. Some of them were not sure whether to panic yet. All sort of turn and look at you. One says, chill?
Yes. My life coach advises that we should chill. Unless, of course, you wish to help. In which case you are advised to do so, but panic is useless. Your rage may be more useful. Hiding, if you cannot help, then yes, that would be useful too, but chilling is the best thing you can do.
I alluded last time to the fact that the people of Mas Dida in mechanical terms are a crew. A crew is simply defined as a group of people you interact with as a group who have come together with a shared purpose. The Weasel people, the On-Weaslers, are, for example, a crew, though they are certainly not your crew. Mm-hmm. I mentioned last time that the people of Mas Dida are a crew, and maybe tentatively yours. Their shared purpose, of course, is making a go of living in this anarcho-something-or-other version of Mas Dida. So, if you're trying to convince a crew to do something, convince them that it's in their interests, and or try to convince them to do something because of your interests, this is a move known as back scratch. As in, you scratch mine, I'll scratch yours. Would you mind giving me 2d6 plus awkward?
Oh,
and
shit.
given that they were just told to panic, you are rolling with disadvantage, so actually 3d6.
And my awkward is -1, so this is fabulous.
So look, while she's rolling, I don't know what the time frame is like here, but as soon as I notice that Viz is addressing the crowd alone, I am sprinting in that direction and trying to get Olivia to follow me. Carry on.
So I got 3 3s, so that's going to be a 6 -1, which is 5.
6 -1, which is 5. Okay, what do you say to them? This will determine how well they respond, but I mean, you've sort of said your piece, but what are you suggesting that they actually do? Either hide or help? That's sort of the gist of it?
Mm-hmm. And then I mentioned that, I guess, the convention that's been in town for too long have finally realized that what they've waited for is arriving. This should cause some concern.
I'm very concerned, says Slamaganda.
I was going to ask. I was going to ask what Slamaganda the Larger was doing.
Slamaganda the Larger is not yet in evidence.
Okay.
The bar was sort of a few blocks out, so
Gotcha.
that's not especially necessarily surprising.
Right.
We'll see. Maybe she's got a leveler head. How level can slime be, really, though? The crowd is not super convinced. They seem to be panicking less, but you don't seem to have moved them to do anything in particular other than not immediately panic. So it's progress, but you do not exactly have the wind at your back or theirs, at least not yet.
Best case scenario for Viz talking to a crowd, honestly.
There are no torches and no pitchforks, which is both good and bad, I suppose, in this context. Olivia was tending to Andrew's wounds, or rather seeing if there were any wounds.
Okay.
She had come to the conclusion that he was apparently a perfectly healthy and normal crab-human hybrid.
Okay, cool.
So she is coming over after you, and actually so is Andrew.
Okay.
He has human legs, but he still seems to scuttle sideways. He manages to do it with a swagger.
I'm going to put that in the box of things I don't think about. And I'm going to, as we're heading over, I'm going to be, thanks, Olivia, for your help. I was a bit at a loss there. I hope Viz is doing well with the crowd. I'm not sure. I love Slimaganda the Smaller to death, but I don't know that she really has the head for this sort of thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, she probably would have a career in politics. She's really good at telling the crowd what they want to hear. Huh?
Gonna blink twice and decide not to say anything.
She finds this cute. She kisses you on the cheek.
Aw. And so yeah, we're heading to where the crowd is milling about, deciding what to do, I guess.
Sure. Do you attempt a back scratch or to speak to them? I guess let's not make it purely mechanical.
I would like to speak to them. Yeah, I'm hoping here, and I don't think that this has any mechanical effect, but I'm hoping that my 2 weeks of trying to like be places and do things, sort of gets me an ear at least, and that I can lean a little bit on Olivia, who's been here for longer and knows these people better. But I'm basically not trying to convince them to do anything particularly different from what Viz was trying to get them to do. Namely, hey, if you think you might want to fight, then suit up, whatever that means for you. But, if not, then try to get to safety, which probably isn't going to be anything between the edge of town and the convention center.
As you're assessing this, you notice that there does again seem to be more beach than there was, which is strange. Roll plus awkward for me.
Yeah, putting it in the box. All right, plus awkward. Awkward is as good as my punk attributes get, so here's hoping.
You are again rolling with disadvantage. Well, let's say you're not rolling with disadvantage. Let's say Viz buttered him up for you.
Okay, well, that's very generous of you. I don't think I have anything in particular move-wise that can help me here. Though, I guess if I do get a chance to roll nerve, that could... oh, that's in my Mac, never mind. I forgot the distinction there. Better. That's 9 plus 2 is 11.
Oh, that's quite excellent.
Yeah.
That's extremely good.
I'm going to try to get visible and sort of like, kind of stand next to Olivia.
I
hey,
offer
everybody.
a claw as a podium.
Oh,
stand.
Excellent. I'm gonna probably dap the claw up before I realize what you're doing, and then climb on and pull Olivia up.
Just for the heck of it, let's actually go ahead and use a move I've been wanting to use. Could you roll get up in their business for me, Viz? This is 2d6 plus love. Your love for Rad specifically.
Oh, fantastic! That's going to work out well because that's a plus 3. However, I got snake.
Jinxed it.
Once again, I have to roll a 5.
Rad rises triumphantly on the claw and then slips. Does not fall off, but has to catch herself. She's higher. She's more visible. She maybe looks a little less cool than she did.
It's all good. Fling my hair out of my eyes and try to strike as much of a confident pose as someone relatively short can do in this situation. Again, kind of reiterate, hopefully more convincingly, things that Viz was doing already. Is I'll try to do it in dialogue. Hey, everybody. So you can probably hear the rumbling. I think that's going to head directly toward the convention center and largely consist of unpleasant types. So if you want to help us beat the shit out of them, get ready to do that. If you don't, though, totally understandable. Maybe do your best to get to safety, which in this case probably means pretty far from the straightest line between the eastern edge of town and the convention center. Anybody questions or need help?
I mean, we all need help, says a voice from the crowd. However, some
I
people
nod
seem
emphatically.
extremely ready to fight. Some people, in fact, seem to already be headed to where their mechs are. Some people are definitely squaring up.
All right.
As a group, again, since they're a crew, they're a bit more convinced. They seem ready to help each other out, as after all, they've been trying to do for the last 2 weeks.
I feel inspired by this.
As people are sort of like splitting up, all right, mad props to everybody who's getting ready to square off. Love you all. Everybody who's not, love you all too. If you have any know-how for helping to get just kind of basic hidey hole supplies together, or if you know where some may be found, maybe help your neighbors with that. And particularly if you are good at first aid or medicine or something, maybe those of you who know that stuff can kind of get together and divvy up just to make sure that if something happens, we're going to try to do our best to keep collateral damage to a minimum, but I think we'll be the only ones trying. So, we'll probably end up needing your help as well. If we all help each other, though, I think we get through this just fine. And try to look confident.
Slamagana the Lesser has been looking up at you with great admiration.
I wink at her.
Senpai has noticed her. She springs up and says, I've reconsidered. We're not gonna die. We're grabbing food. Come with me to the mansion. We're grabbing food. We're going south.
Big thumbs up.
There's a place where we can hole up. It should be just fine. Actually, maybe the mansion is a defensible position. At this precise moment, however, you notice a flock of menmoth over the mansion. As to whether you know what this means, you'd probably have to roll figure shit out.
I guess I will do that then. That is,
I believe, plus attention.
Shit. I was worried about that. 5.
You do not get to ask a question.
Indeed not. I just
Anyone else who'd like to try is welcome to that.
maybe I
What was
lean
that
over to
say?
Olivia, gesturing toward her and go, "Is that good?"
What do I
7.
roll?
Attention.
7.
Attention.
You roll, two dice plus attention. Yeah.
Okay.
So Des, you will get to ask 1 question. Let's have Robin roll 2, though.
I got 6. I'm
Okay, so
writing out these dice.
so among the party, you get 1 question about Menmoth.
What is?
I feel
It's
like
kind of
the
a man,
name kind of
and
gives
it's-
it away.
Kind of a man, kind of a moth. Some of them look more like the human parts, look more like corpses than others.
So it's the airborne
Anyway.
version of carcinization. Cool.
No comment. No comment. You've asked your question. So yeah, it's up to you whether to encourage or discourage Slamagana the Lesser to should you grab supplies from the former police commissioner's mansion and then take them elsewhere, perhaps out of the line of fire, or should you stay there? She'll probably listen to you at this point since you're senpai, Rad.
Given that these things involve parts that look corpsey, I think I feel trepidation.
Yes.
And I'm going to suggest in a conversational, not a declamatory tone, just to Slamaganda, and not try to be secretive about it, but not try to advertise it. Maybe it would be a better idea to retrieve some supplies from the mansion and find somewhere with fewer menmoth around to hole up.
Were there previous police stations, perhaps?
There most certainly were, and there is one
point.
on the south side of town. So that seems like a good way to go. Slamaganda, I think, is convinced. She says, "All right, nobody pick a fight with the Menmoth, or I'll kill you. Come with me and help, and I'll kiss you."
Like mother, like daughter.
She's still figuring stuff out,
Mm-hmm.
All right, the rumbling has gotten louder.
Mm-hmm.
Not being on the east side
Is
of
the
town,
beach more?
it's tough. I'm sorry, what was that?
Is the beach more?
Oh, is the beach more? Oh, yeah. You actually notice that even though you haven't moved, there is a little bit of sand underfoot. And if you had to guess, you would say that the ocean itself is maybe a bit closer.
Is it between us and the convention center still, or?
A little bit. The coast is uneven, so there's sort of a
Okay.
jagged inlet, probably roughly where Andrew got in crabificated.
What was the move for figuring out, like asking a question plus attention?
Figure shit out, yeah, plus attention, and that means you can, as long as it's something you can physically see, you can ask the GM a question about it,
Okay.
assuming you roll well.
Yeah. Thank God. I got a 5 and a 6, plus 1.
Oh, there we are.
So, yes.
There might be something special for a super success, so actually give me 1 sec, sorry. Just making sure I'm giving you everything you are owed. On a 10 plus, you get to ask 2 questions.
Oh.
However, you have to ask them both at once before I answer. So
Okay.
it can't be a follow-up question.
So, the questions would be, what is causing the beach to spread, and how do we stop it?
The ocean is concerned, and I suppose since you rolled so well, I could let you know the people of Mas Dida are not the only crew present. And I'm not just talking about the weasels. It occurs to you that the ocean is a kind of crew. Doesn't mean you know how to talk to it, but it has an interest here. And maybe that interest might be mutual.
Okay. I'm just still gonna
Do you
shout at
convey
the
this?
ocean.
You're going to shout at the ocean.
Yeah. It's not gonna go well.
Okay. Roll back scratch for me.
Okay.
That is plus awkward. You are rolling with disadvantage.
Mhm.
So actually roll. Give me 3 dice. Yeah.
I would help, but I'm
So
still
I
helping
remove the
repair that.
highest. So
Remove
I got
the
a
highest,
6.
yeah.
Yeah,
You got a
hurt.
6.
That hurt. Well, hold on. I'm removing a 6, and I have a 5 and a 2 remaining, and then my awkward is -1, so it's a 6.
Oh, that is painful.
That was very painful.
What do you yell at the ocean? Just for my head and for the listener.
I find the forms that you are inspiring people to take beautiful. However, if you would like to have something big take that form, the opportunity may arise if you want to help us.
The ocean does not answer, but Andrew does walk by and wink at you on an eye that protrudes further than an eye normally would.
Okay.
So checking back in on the beach, Kay miraculously seems to have the mech in something like working order. It will always smell like smoke. Whether Robert can pilot it is an open question, but it's a mech and not just a hulking pile of useless meat.
I thank him for doing what he could.
Fantastic.
Kay thanks you quite a lot. He holds out his arms as though for a backslappy hug, but waits for your consent before doing so.
Absolutely.
The hug is extremely backslappy.
Small Varther twitches his tail out of the way in anticipation of each backslap.
Perfection. It should be said that Slimaganda the Greater has arrived at this point and has a fair few people in tow. She seems to have done a much better job organizing than her smaller sibling,
Than her diminutive counterpart.
Rad.
I should also note that there is a great commotion rising from the convention center. Whatever they've been discussing, they've come to some kind of consensus, and they are ecstatic. They seem to have congregated around the door, since I'll remind you, Andrew's mech's landing took a chunk out of the convention center. Didn't crush all inside or anything, but that place has seen better days.
I guess maybe this is a point where I would be wanting to get back into the security of my mech.
Fair
I'd
enough.
like to briefly go shout at the ocean as well.
Sure.
Yes. Join me in shouting at the ocean.
as well you ought to. Please roll back scratch for me. So that's going to be rolling with disadvantage.
Okay,
And it's going to be plus awkward.
Improbably, increment the horns rolls.
Oh.
Yes.
Very nice.
So I rolled 3 6s there. So
That's
the
incredible.
disadvantage does not matter.
That's
doesn't a bit.
amazing.
I'm gonna have
So
to look
that
up what your awkward is real quick.
it's +1, so that's a 13, which is
Yeah, you did
even
well.
more apt for this.
To roll 3 6s and a 13 simultaneously is a favorable sign if ever I've heard one.
Mhm.
Fuck yes. What do you yell at the ocean?
We're not the enemy here. Don't take the town away. And also, please don't make us into crabs, but we're willing to help, whatever it is you actually need.
The ocean does not answer in words. However, a wave seems to break unusually. And then another. And then another. Then you see fins rise and writhe, as though in answer. It's as much of an answer as you could probably have expected from the ocean. And you look down and there's a little less sand than there was before underfoot.
I will wave at the fins and say, thank you. And all of this is probably unintentionally glow-teethed.
Behind the fins is an absolutely enormous crab claw, which you think waves at you in an almost human salute.
I wave back.
It's like the Queen's wave, but it's a crab claw.
Oh my god, you're so cute.
Andrew instinctively waves back in a similar fashion.
Don't
You don't
think
know if the sea is on your side. Does anyone ever know if the sea is on their side? But that went about as well as it reasonably could have.
Yeah,
think
I don't
haven't
know that.
noticed you wrecking my exes as they show up.
Hey, you wrecked them first.
Drew beat me to the draw there.
Fair.
Damn.
We're functioning on the level of metaphor. Okay, so the host approaching from the
Is
east
Radagonda
just
like the
about
sea,
here.
then?
My pansexual polyamorous menace is like the sea, as the
Or
old poem
A
goes.
waterfall.
Can
And they
waterfall.
really should have stuck to the rivers and the lakes. Like
Okay,
they
I was
There
going
it
with
do.
a different song reference. I was going with "Can you see the goth turn rad?"
Yeah.
It breaks over.
That's
us.
good. That's good. That's extremely good.
I knew you would be going for thrice. I didn't know which, because there are so many.
A lot. Yes, it's true. I've used quite a few of them actually. In,
Yes.
as the poet once said.
All right.
I think that's going to be the hardest bit of planning for me.
Yeah, until I picked a couple of musical options, I couldn't really move forward with this. So speaking of moving forward with this, it's happening. The host approaching from the east is just about here. Even peeking through buildings, even if you're not especially far east in town, you can see them writhing. The telltale beefy arm silhouettes of cop mechs, but in their hundreds, like a centipede on its back. A centipede that has never missed leg day.
Drew, you may not know this about me, but I have a real problem with centipedes.
I mean,
I'm going to apologize
There's-
because I do know that about you, and that's why I said that. This appears to be, it seems it might be, a whole police department outfitted in things that are new. As they approach, you can actually see that they've got the logo of the company of the richest man in the world, which we talked about 2 episodes ago. It is the first initial of some other guy who actually invented shit. Doesn't really matter. These seem to be shiny new cop mechs. At the head of the host are smaller figures. There's one at the center, not in a mech at all, riding a meter cycle, and flanked by 2 guards, clearly being protected.
Is the one on the meter cycle, does that appear to be the richest man in the world? Like, looking at it, can we tell?
A little too far away for you to tell. I'm not even sure, actually, that Viz would recognize the richest man in the world.
This is
on
true, they
sight.
would not.
But by configuration, this is definitely a person who is being protected by the other people. So it's a decent guess. If you want to know more, I guess I should have really made you roll figure shit out just now. So if you have other questions, do that.
How do I roll figure shit out?
It's a plus attention, 2 dice.
For the record, while Viz is figuring shit out, I am getting into my mech.
Yeah, I am also getting into
Fair
my
enough.
mech.
We'll do your sinew roll in just a moment. And we'll actually do Viz's sinew roll as well due to the earlier negotiation.
Oh, sweet. So I got a 4 and a 5, and my attention is +1.
All right.
So that brings me to a solid 10.
That's a solid 10. So I believe at 10 you can ask me 2 questions, but you've got to ask them together.
Okay. Who in the formation is the richest man in the world? And how would the other cops react to them losing their mind?
React to the richest man in the world losing
their
his
mind.
mind?
Yes, yeah. His mind.
There is nothing in the rules that says your life coach has to answer, but he does.
Yes.
The man at the head of the host is the richest man in the world, or was until losing money. He's still considered rich in importance by fools. Were he to lose his mind, everyone else would lose theirs too. But then again, they're long lost. Thank you for asking.
I love the life coach.
That is the most beautiful answer I could have asked for.
So it does seem, especially given that your life coach seems to be plugged into some kind of news wire service, that the man at the head of the host is likely to be, and you would know this, at least in passing, Elias Oakley Muskox, the head of a great many companies which do something. It's not totally clear. I should note, by the way, given the name, the noble muskox does exist in Meat World. It is just very, very musky.
Mm-hmm.
So I take it we're all meching up. So I'm going to need a
Certainly.
sinew roll from all three of you, including Viz, because Viz is sort of like reconnecting with their mech, let's say.
I got 2 5s.
2 5s.
I had it,
And I should note this is plus sinew, yeah. So
yeah,
Yeah.
so that is
a ludicrous
13.
success.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have rolled a 15 total.
Good lord.
Jabba.
Uh,
How's Rad?
I got an 8 on the dice, which turns into an 11 because my sinew is 3.
That's awesome.
Well, you've each got a unique sinew move, so let's I think we're farming holds here. Yeah, so Viz, you want to go first since you've got clicky nerves, so whatever happens would happen slightly first.
Sweet. So on a 10 plus, I can name an NPC and have the bright shine on them. So when the bright shines on someone or something, the GM can pick one and say why it happens. So they can roll with advantage or disadvantage. They take a status, they disappear and reappear somewhere else. The temperature changes is something unsuitable for them. They experience minor or major hallucinations, or they leave the area immediately.
Would really be just very funny if Muskox just turned around.
Yeah, however, I have a hold I can already use that have a bit more control over. No slight against you, Drew. So I think that's the more strategic.
Oh, I'm ungovernable. Don't worry. We all are.
So I think I will have the bright shine on whoever appears to be the most important element of the Muskox's guard.
Of his guard.
Mm-hmm. Like the immediate guard, like whoever appears to be his right-hand man.
Yeah. Well, to his literal right, there is a mech that doesn't look like it belongs to a cop. It looks like it belongs to a more sort of bougie, high-class class of violence worker. Think Secret Service. The mech, in fact, appears to be wearing sunglasses, which is bizarre and unnecessary. It also appears to be wearing a suit, though of course the suit is made of flesh, charred to look black, like a Secret Service suit should. Try saying that 5 times fast. I had a hard time saying it once slowly. Now, when the bright shines on this mech, it first glints in those sunglasses. The glint looks strange. A lens flare in ASCII is a strange enough thing. I've said before that when the Bright has shined on people because of Viz's abilities and because of Robin's extremely good rolling as well, that it looked as though the sky was going to open up. It now looks more like that than it ever has before. It's actually frightening. It seems for a moment that something behind the Bright, the sun bastard, might actually appear. But it doesn't. Instead, an unprecedented quantity of Bright in every available color seems to simply pour down upon and envelop the Secret Service-y looking mech. You can no longer see the black of the suits. You can only see a confusion of characters. It hasn't broken stride, but you'd hate to think what happens if it tries to exert its will.
Cool.
Damn.
That was beautiful.
Rad.
Uh-huh.
You got a sinew move coming, I believe.
I do have a sinew move coming, and the thing is when I roll 10 plus on sinew, it makes problems for you.
It does. Who we got?
So on a 10 plus, name someone. Even if they aren't present in the brawl, they'll make their way towards it as soon as they can, looking for you. Maybe they even show up immediately with no clear explanation as to why. If they're already there, they're singularly on you and open to, talking. So the X I prepared earlier was former vocalist for gothic metal band Tristania, Vivka Stena, except, of course, none of these people are actually the people I'm basing them on. Just somebody with a Norwegian complexion and dark hair. She is going to be in evidence whenever you decide. If you are not 100% familiar, I will link inside chat the Wikipedia page on this person.
You came prepared.
I'm thinking that I'm going to rule that that Rad primarily calls this X Vi.
Okay.
A distancing mechanism, because none of these people did anything to deserve being put in this game.
They're all, in fact, wonderful people, especially this one.
I believe you were saying something.
It may be worth Drew mentioning the suggestion I gave him.
Yeah, if you had rolled less well,
Mm-hmm.
the backup singer from Evanescence was going to be...
Okay, are we talking about the backup singer specifically from Bring Me to Life, who is Paul McCoy, who I was in marching band in high school with one of Paul McCoy's best childhood friends.
If I had known that, then abso-fucking
Paul McCoy was from the town I went to high school in.
Holy shit.
7 degrees from Paul McCoy.
Yes, that was the suggestion.
Just saying. Lead singer for 12 Stones did the backup vocals on Bring Me to Life, and yeah, I had 2 degrees of separation from it at one point in my life.
And maybe for the best that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I love the idea of that haunting this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking great.
Anyway,
all right.
Carry on.
That didn't. All right. So what actually happens, of course, is that immediately, Vi walks by holding a huge crate of supplies that have just come from the police commissioner's house. She catches your eye. She does sort of a double take. She says, Rad?
Vi! How did I not know you were here? How are you?
I'm good. I was here to play a show with Andrew, and he disappeared.
It has been a really weird couple of weeks. He's actually, in evidence now, although a little less mainline human physiology than he used to be.
Oh, he too is a crab. Everyone is becoming crab. Extremely basic.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Well, I'm glad you're well. Thanks for helping out. We'll do our best to handle all this. And I hope we get the chance to catch up. Are you gonna be all right?
I think I'll be fine.
In
fact, if I encounter a spare mech, I'll come back and try to help.
Hell yeah! Everybody can always rely on you. Thank you.
I point
Not knowing
at
how this
the
person
looking
sounds,
great.
I apologize for that accent. Yes, please continue this.
I lift what might be termed a limb in the direction of the unoccupied, repaired mech.
Yeah, it seems unlikely that Robert will be piloting it himself.
Vi asks around for someone else who can carry things. Actually, Slamaganda the Lesser hefts this crate, which is at least 4 times her size, over her head. Think Mario Brothers 2, the USA one. And scampers away. Vi makes for the smoking mech.
Hell yeah, welcome on board.
She winks at you. And she says...
I was going to say, I smile and blush, but since I'm already in my mech, it's probably not super obvious.
You're sure somehow she knows. She makes her way for the mech, and she begins to mech up. You can hear the neural spike reject for a moment, and then she says, "What is the name of this fucking mech?" which of course, Robert is happy to oblige, but I haven't figured it out yet, so hang on a second. Robert shambles over to the mech. He's doing fine. It's probably best that you're not letting him fight, but he's doing fine given that a part of his brain has been removed and then fried out, and then who knows. He whispers something to Vi. We've not really lingered on a physical description of Vi, but she's dressed more or less like a witch, and she has iridescent violet eyes, which she, in the same way that Rad insists that her red eyes are perfectly natural, Vi insists the same about hers. That was one of the first things they bonded over. So you can see her iridescent eyes roll dramatically after Robert whispers to her. And then the neural spike enters her neck again, and she says, "Kiss me, kiss me, kiss me." And the mech springs to life.
Bravissima.
Close the tab of the list of Cure albums. Okay, anyway, maybe I'll reopen that. Anyway, all right, so
for my sinew move?
Please, that was exactly what I was about to say. Go for it.
In keeping with my prior iterations of this, I am going to be lowering the ground, but consider.
Mm-hmm.
What if Mas Dida had a boat?
That's very much worth considering, especially because you are as much in league with the sea as any Vancouverite has ever been.
And specifically, it is just wide enough to be awkward for a cop mech to attempt to cross, and deep enough for a crab.
Yeah, no, that works very well. So the earth begins to shake, and the sea begins to expand again, but really only in one place. Where you first entered, Mas Dida, there was a parking lot on the edge of town where a strange human-sized tuxedo cat greeted you. That is gone now, because it's water. No beach, just water. A deep descending trench that fills in with ocean. The Gallic fills in enough space that to go around it would take quite some time, though it wouldn't be impossible, and to go over it would be extremely awkward for a mech that isn't agile, for example, a cop mech. You're now in a very good position to stand on the other side of this and détente, if that is your want. I should note, it's probably just as hard for you to get to them as for them to get to you in the immediate term.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a much more defensible town now.
Marveloso. And for our listeners of our Nightfall campaign, praise Dagum.
Praise Dagum.
This seems like a really good time to spend my hold.
Yeah.
I would like to make Mr. Muskox. I'm going to spin the hold to make him hallucinate something about his environment, namely that those around him are trying to steal what remains of his money.
I like the what remains as if he is lost enough to, have to worry about the portion of his cash if he were
he lost more
normal
than
human.
He lost more than any normal human will ever have, but he still has many times more than any normal human would need.
Of course. But
He's
phrasing
a
it
little too
like the
far away for you
remains is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Where It's a little too far away for you to see just what the result of this will be, but it's going to happen, and it's not going to stop happening. You perhaps can see that the figure is looking over his shoulder repeatedly, looking left, looking right, looking up, looking down, looking inward, maybe for the first time in years. You've gotten to him. What the end result will be remains to be seen. The other thing that's happening right now is that several of the Onweaselers are rushing to what is now the water's edge to speak to the man himself. The owl guy, perhaps at the front of them. He gives Viz a very strange look, though, and turns right around. He lands in front of you, and he says, "It is such an honor to meet you."
To Viz.
To Viz.
I'm so happy.
It seems the hallucination never really ended for him. He just sort of imprinted.
I bow.
Pumped him into the water.
He gives the deepest bow a mech could possibly give. Owl and weasel appendages splayed in sort of a deep curtsy, almost.
You seem like a fine acolyte.
We did it. I think every interaction is a transaction. When we speak to each other or do anything for each other, we always use Therium. Every time we pay in theory. And like most of us have gotten the Onweasel modifications. I know I still have some owl parts. So lame. So last year I'm working on it. And like some people have gotten the brain mods as well. So we all keep a copy of all the transactions. I mean, like I think some of us are just pretending to be the hive mind, but we'll find out who, and we will root them out.
I am so proud. The parts you miss, that individual holds them, and I point to Mr. Scox.
He's off like a shot.
I love this.
Incredible.
But you can hear on the wind as he flies, "I love you." Well, the metercade, I will say that word at least one more time, is at the water's edge now. And the bodyguard who is not ensconced in the bright is holding up the man himself, meter cycle and all. He's still posed on it. He's wearing what looks like a leather jacket. He is, how to describe him? He kind of looks like he's a low poly man. He's made of too many squares and too many angles. He's dressed expensively, but not well. He's a goon, in short. And I don't want the listener to think, even as there is a threat on the horizon, that we here on the program have any respect for this person or the person he represents. That is important. And in fact, if I may editorialize for a moment, I really hope that the man in question knows that we're talking about him, and it's my fondest hope that it hurts his feelings. Anyway.
Yes, I also hope he bans us. Mike blocks us. I would love to be
Chef's kiss.
and
to join those storied ranks.
Oh, pardon?
To join those storied ranks.
Oh, okay. No, I would love to be someone who no longer has access to his account, an X, as it were.
Funny you should say it. Two things are hoisted behind him before he starts speaking to the assembled group. One is an enormous, pulsating X. Fleshy, as though St. Andrew's cross and St. Andrew himself have fused.
Oh my God.
The second
that's
is an
an
even large... What's all that?
I said
that's an
image.
Why, thank you. I take that compliment slash are you okay, Drew comment. So, well, yes, I am in therapy. So the other thing that is being hoisted is a large pulsating something. It looks like a pile of spare mech parts, but it also looks like a pile of people. It's tough to tell. You think you spot a hand, you think you spot a face, you think you spot a leg. It's just a thing. So much in this world is made of meat, but this thing is somehow more made of meat than the rest. If a brain were made of everything but a brain, that's how this would look.
Gross.
The owl guy gets up to Muskox, and sees who he is looking at almost a moment too late. In fact, one of the two bodyguards grabs him, plucks him out of the air, and holds him in a fist as though he's going to crush him, and then holds his face close up to Muskox's, who is, I must remind you, at human scale. You can hear Muskox. He's being amplified somehow, and he says, "Oh, you're still doing the weasel thing. That's very cool, very dank, very cool, very cool." What are you trying to do? You trying to attack me here? That's not very dank. That's not very cool. But it's good that you guys have been waiting for me, because you are going to be part of something very special. Mas Dida for too long has been a symbol of malaise and failure and inefficiency, but of course, now it's going to be my first company town with productive sectors. We'll use the Therium chain to pay you in Scripto, and we'll have a state-of-the-art training center for our brave men and women so that they can stop what's been happening from ever happening again in this new city of X. The X lights up somehow, phosphorescent, bioluminescent.
And still looking every bit throbs. Like the porn app it is.
Oh, more so, given that it is a St. Andrew's cross with St. Andrew fused into it.
Indeed. And now it glows somehow, as though St. Andrew were a series of
electrified.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've been
Electrified St. Andrew is my new band, yes.
I've been playing a lot of heavily modded Fallout New Vegas recently, so I have a very, very clear image of this X.
When he says the word Scripto, interestingly, the most cursed word I've ever said.
Certainly.
You hear sort of a sizzle from inside the convention center, and all of the weasel people you see running forward sort of list to one side simultaneously. Robert, for his part, has a fresh plume of smoke come out of one ear, but he doesn't seem to react like the others do otherwise. Something's been pinged in the hive mind.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to say this out loud to my companions. I don't think I see anything good coming from this being allowed to go on. I know there's a lot of them, but do we charge?
Olivia
there
is
is
already charged.
A moat in the way.
I'm one step behind her then.
I didn't mean to step on your answer, though.
Oh, I was saying that there was a moat in the way now.
There is.
That's true.
Is there any way to do ranged attack shenanigans in a meat mech?
Depends on the meat mech.
I was gonna say, not in my meat
I'm going to
mech.
have to look at your weapons here. Let's see.
I mean,
there's only so much range to, for example, a big bone would have shrapnel in it.
Right. My specific mech weapon is also near, so...
So I was going to say that my hatchet limbs are near, which is defined as they have to be close to you within the halfway point of the battlefield, but my pulse is cloud belly. It's as if your innards are lighter than air. You move lightly and gracefully when weight matters. So I probably have, between the two of those things, a lot more mobility than the cop mechs do. The hatchet limbs, for instance, say you can use these to latch into the nearby environment instead of attacking on your turn to keep yourself stable if you might otherwise fall or reach something your mech otherwise couldn't. So I'm cautiously optimistic pending Drew's devilry.
Hey, Drew.
Yes.
The moat counts as an obstacle, yeah?
It does. It does.
Can I use my other wizard hold to be able to pop in and out of existence on either side of the moat as the combat progresses?
Could you apply that to all of us? Because I also have to be near in order to use
Yeah,
my
if I could
ability.
apply that to
The party.
our side, so we can traverse the moat without it being an obstacle, and they cannot.
Let me say that with your wizard hold, you can. If you want others, like Viz, like Kay, like Vi to be able to do it. That's going to be a little dangerous and dicey, magically speaking. So if you would, roll get shit done for me. And I think we're actually
chill?
replacing... it would normally be chill, but because we are in a mech, it is going to be the equivalent
Sinew?
mech stat, which is sinew, yes.
Okay, lovely. That is an 8 becomes an 11.
Oh, you know what? It actually, I'm sorry, was going to be nerve. So that 8 becomes... Well, you're still fine. Yeah. I'm going to say this works. You're able to pull yourself in and out of existence on either side of the moat. It's going to be a little exhausting to do it repeatedly. This is the most of this kind of magic Bill has ever tried to do. But you're going to be able to zoop yourselves back and forth, as it were, as necessary.
Excellent.
Fair draw?
Oh, absolutely.
Dope.
Sweet.
What's already happening, however...
I have now created problems and helped solve them for us.
Indeed. I should note that what is actually happening is a couple of the cop mechs are standing on the edge of the water, and one is about to try and jump it. They try. They make it far enough that their fingertips land on the other side.
Oh,
and
good. I have experience here.
You won't get the chance because the arm falls off and the cop falls into the sea. However, another tries. They make it with both arms and they hang on. So you do have experience and it may become relevant. A third cop places the owl guy gingerly to start to form a bridge, and cops begin to step over on the back of this unfortunate, who still believes, of course, that Muskox has everything that he wants. That seems right to him now. As each cop mech steps on him, he says, "Thank you for your service."
I know that I will not be going first here, but I think my tactical evaluation is to attempt to attack the mechs acting as a bridge.
That seems reasonable. Before you do that, one more thing will happen, however. We've been playing fast and loose with this system, which is, of course, very much in the spirit of the system. But one thing that Extreme Meatpunks Forever was not actually designed to simulate is large-scale combat.
Shocking.
That said, we've got crews. So the people of Mas Dida, those who have decided to fight, are going to act as a crew. The way this works is that if you want to influence them, you can do so using that back scratch move. They will fight in whatever interests they think are theirs, which hopefully align with yours. They certainly do in some instances. When they as a crew take a status, 25% of them will essentially be out of commission. So you're going to lose a quarter whenever they take a status. If you lose all 4 quarters, then obviously they're out of it. So it's up to you, how much you want to influence their behavior. They're currently just sort of rushing toward the shore and ready to beat the shit out of as many as they can.
Sure.
They're aware that there are overwhelming numbers, but they're also aware that this is probably the best way to make the world, which won't be what it was this morning, better rather than worse tomorrow.
So just a rules question real quick.
Yep.
Back scratch in a mech. When you're in a mech and you're using the equivalent of that move, what do you roll with? I think awkward.
So back scratch rolls plus awkward,
Right.
and therefore you are still rolling plus awkward.
Oh, okay.
The meat cannot stop awkwardness. The meat can only do so much.
Fair enough.
So you're still rolling plus awkward if you want to directly influence the crowd. Now, I should also note there is also, the GM doesn't roll, so I'll just be making decisions.
Right.
But you've got another crew of weasel people, and you've got also a writhing mass of cop folk as well. So there's just a huge number of people on the field. We're going to...
And the
There's
sea.
also... Thank you for remembering. Yes, the sea is also in evidence, and precisely who owes allegiance to whom in the case of the sea is at best murky. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens there. All right, so we have an owl guy being happy to be stepped on. We have some cops making it across the bridge, but at a single choke point. We have the sea burbling, but so far not rising up to swallow the orc hordes, as it were. We have weasel people running around chaotically. Some of them, it should be said, are meching up. So what they're going to do, whose side they're going to be on, whether you're going to be pincered, remains somewhat to be seen. But your forces are all mech'd up. Robert is not fighting. Robert is going with the folks who are not fighting. And as he goes away, he goes, "Hey, Bill, I don't know how I know this, but the first day you left Vancouver, do you remember when Smallvartha roasted a whole murder horse? And you tried to ride it thinking that's how things worked here because of the flesh and all. Is that a real memory or am I losing it?"
That's embarrassing and very real.
Cool. You're cute.
Aww. Stay safe.
I'll try. You too.
As I can.
Andrew, meanwhile, has managed to mech up. He looked with some distaste at the crab-like mech that he had to get into, but he's beginning to embrace his crab identity.
Good for him.
He loads himself into it. He winces again when he sees that he's climbing into a series of his own screaming face. But he goes ahead and taps the neural spike. You don't hear the name of the mech. He's always been very private about this, actually. But it joins the fray.
Magnifique.
Very well. So I think it is time for some moves. Viz, clicky nerves mean you go first.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the obvious thing to do is those trying to cross. How do I knock them into the ocean?
Well, you have a bone. What has shrapnel in it?
Yes, in fact, I do, and yuck guts from which it emerges.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
So, would you like to? We're going to say, by the way, that in this fight, we are actually starting at -1 sinew due to the overwhelming numbers. So let's
By
go
sinew,
ahead.
do you mean
and...
brawl?
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Thank you for the correction. I did say sinew. That would be to each individual person. You're right. I meant that the brawl counter starts at -1. You are at a disadvantage from the jump. So it would be really hard to kill someone outright, but of course you can still smash them and bash them and crash them, and that will raise the counter, which makes killing easier. So if you want to try and smack one of the cops pouring across the Owl Bridge, go ahead and roll smash, if you would.
Yes, and for me, thanks to my yuck guts, that is rolling sinew. And I believe that it's with advantage, because I get to roll with advantage on smash rolls.
There you go.
Thankfully, because that would have been a very sad. It's still a sad. I got a 6. And I'm removing. I had 2 1s and a 2. So I'm adding my 3 to that.
Not the best roll.
No, I may have to reroll all my dice again.
So you try to swing the big bone, what has shrapnel in it, at one of the cops. The cop catches it in a beefy arm, tries to wrench it away from you. Does not succeed at this, and in fact, the arm with which it grabs the bone immediately malfunctions and starts sparking. It's on fire already, and it will not let go of the bone. So you have a flaming cop arm attached to your bone.
Sweet.
It is, however, burning you. You take a status called minor burns. These will become major burns if they keep burning.
Okay.
You're lightly on fire.
A soupçon of flame.
This is fine.
That's a better name for the status, actually.
By the time we're done here, it will definitely smell somewhere between Maillard and charcoal.
Indeed. You were not well done, but that roll wasn't well done, so you're alive. Brawl counter sits at -1. Let's say rad. Let's get your move.
Very well. Piggybacking on Dez's comment, I'm reminded that I put a smell into the description of Violent Dancer The smell is not overpowering, but neither is it faint, and it will spark vivid memories in those who have dressed game after successful hunts. So I'm sure it smells great on this battlefield right now.
It smells spectacular.
So
spectacular is a word. There is a spectacle, and it is a spectacle, among other things, of smells.
I believe I had announced my intention to go for the owl and or cop mechs that were forming the bridge.
However, you do have the better back scratch skill, so that would be my tactical recommendation.
Yeah, as table talk, like, what am I trying to accomplish with that? What's our goal there?
Being able to enlist the sea better.
Yeah,
Adam hasn't personally shouted at the sea yet.
Yeah,
but
in character, I don't know that I'm super aware of what's going on with the sea is the problem.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's fair.
That said, if it comes up that I am apprised of this during our confrontation, I am happy to use my +2 awkward in service of parlaying with the sea. At the moment, I think I'm going to try inadvertently, perhaps, to feed it. And I suppose it's up to Drew what exactly I'm able to access is a weird word for it. Target, maybe is a better word, in terms of that which makes up the bridge. But that is my inclination, is to use Smash on the mechs that are allowing the others to walk across them.
We also have the Mas Dida crew, too.
That's true.
Indeed. Yeah. I'm assuming
That's true.
they're all right for now.
Yeah, they're doing fine. They're stopping the cops that are actively making it across. Not actually destroying them or anything, but holding them off.
Right, holding them off.
I should note, however, that as they're doing this, once again, the cop beefy arms that the cops are trying to use are splitting or sparking or bursting into flames. They don't seem to work very well.
Mm-hmm.
This is good news in one sense, of course, but it does seem dangerous.
Right.
And some of the Mas Dida folks' mechs are likewise aflame in a this is fine fashion, or are taking minor damage in other ways. The scene is quickly becoming chaos. If you wish to stop them from getting across such that you have the tactical advantage of being able to zoop forward and back, but they can't do the same, Owl Mech is your target, for sure.
Owl Mech is my
target. It is still
then.
murmuring, "Thank you for your service," again and again and again.
This frankly just incenses me at this point.
All right. Well, do two things for me then. Roll 2 dice. Well, you know what? And actually, roll with advantage since you are sort of making it an ACAB motion.
Yeah.
This is all ACAB, but I think, you know, your rage gives you advantage on this particular one. Mm-hmm. So roll with advantage plus Corpus.
And I would also like to point out, I do have 1,000 fingers, which allows me to do 2 things at once. So you said do 2 things. I don't know what the other thing is yet, but I shouldn't take any sort of, particular penalty on it. Not that I think you were going to levy one. I just like to point out the disturbing things that my mech has going for it. So
it's
plus
important.
Corpus is -1.
We're always counting fingers around here.
I rolled a 1 and a 3, which is a 4, which is a 3 because I have -1 Corpus.
You're rolling with advantage.
Oh, you're right. Let me roll a third die. All right, so that one was the highest, so I still have, let's see, it's a 7, a 6.
A 6.
Which doesn't change much.
It doesn't, unfortunately.
What was the last die's value?
A 4. I had a 1, a 3, and a 4, so I rolled a 7, -1 is 6.
Ah. Yeah. Rip.
You go for the Owl Mech. It is digging its claw, talon, finger, hand things into the pavement to keep itself steady, murmuring thanks. You go for one of the wings, and one of the cops stops you. Gets your mech in the leg. You take a status. It's sort of a sprained ankle. Unless, of course, you want to Ninja Turtle your way out of it. I believe it's up to you when you spend. No, it's always the first on
I think it is.
The first time you would have gotten hurt. So basically, you go for the owl guy. One of the cops pouring across the bridge attempts to sweep the leg, as our listeners might think of it. Describe in a Ninja Turtle-ish fashion how you prevent that from happening, and we can have it not happen.
Well, my legs and my arms are functionally the same things, so I simply pick up the leg or legs that would have been swept and replace them with arms. And disturbingly violent dancer looks approximately the same as it would have if the legs were still down.
This also explains why you don't actually get to the owl dude.
Indeed.
There you go. The cop slips as though on a banana peel, falls over, and cannot get up, like a turtle on its back. It's in the fight, kinda, if only as a possible time bomb. That thing might
Somewhere
explode.
off in the distance, Yakety Sax plays.
What was the second thing you were going to have me do?
Well, you can do two things at once, right?
Yeah.
The other thing was, I think the question was, are you also attempting to rally the troops, as it were? Because that's what you'd been doing, and they are meeting some resistance.
If it is helpful, I absolutely will. Which I believe is plus awkward?
It is plus awkward.
All right. Well, let me roll that and then decide what that sounds like. Ooh, that is an 11 plus 2 for 13.
What you lack in Smash, you make up for in Inspiration.
Oh, I really would love to quote song lyrics here, but I can't think of any specific ones that would help. So I think just, through whatever my mech's public address system is, I just shout to whichever of our allies might be listening. This guy's literally licking boots over here. We can take him.
The owl guy looks up from the boot he was literally licking and scowls. Someone from the town kicks the owl guy in the face. He hangs on, but the boot has licked back, as it were.
Would you say he owls?
I would now that mind virus has entered my neural pathways.
It's hard to say. He probably just has resting owl face.
I'm having so much fun, you guys.
It's very good.
Billiam, what do you do?
I reach through reality with an intestinal loop and wrap that around the feet of the owlbear bridge and drag it such that the bridge and its occupants may all enjoy a crabby bath.
Roll Smash for me.
So that's
2
corpus?
dice plus excuse me, yes, plus corpus.
Excellent. That is a 6 and a 2, so 8 becomes 10.
Hey. So you get to hold 3. So here is the menu for you. Although these are really just suggestions. Kill something weaker than a mech. Set up an opportunity for one of your gang members, so, crew members, or actually, no, that would actually be a player. Somebody else can roll with advantage on their next move. Land a hit on an enemy about your size, such as a mech. Don't get hit in turn. Smash something inanimate the fuck up. I will note that Owl Mech does not qualify as inanimate in this situation.
It certainly appears to lack volition.
So you can pick 3 of those, to be clear.
I will not get hit. I will land a hit on the owl mech. And so I can't give the ocean opportunity?
Can you give the ocean an opportunity? You cannot, and the reason is that the ocean will not roll, so therefore cannot roll with advantage.
Fair. Nevertheless, I will set someone else up the bomb, as it were.
You've got to, I think, call who you're setting up the bomb. So it's either going to be Viz or Ren.
Viz.
Okay. So Viz has been set up the bomb. You land a juicy hit on Owl Guy. With what do you attack? Just one of your many tentacular appendages?
People might be confused because it looks like there is an asymptotic failure there. The intestinal loop lashes out, seems to be cut off, appears on the other side of the bridge and just drags the feet closer to falling off the far edge so that it is no longer a bridge.
Being an owl.
Classic sentence beginnings.
I do love a good subordinate clause, don't you? Being an owl and being not a real owl, the owl mech attempts to flap its feet to stay a bridge. But of course, this does not work. One cop mech plummets, holds just barely on to the jagged cliffs below. The owl also barely hangs on. You appear to have broken one of its feet. So it's going to have a hard time being a bridge in general. It's saying something or other about how you're not even allowed to be proud of your country anymore.
This is perhaps a great time to note that I was driving through South Mississippi recently, and on the side of one of the interstate bridges there was a Patriot Front logo spray painted. Just as a little bit of flavor.
Nah.
That's not good flavor.
No, it's not supposed to be, for what it's worth.
Fair. You know, the soup is lightly arsenic.
Yeah, exactly. So just to be clear, in the fiction, the way you've set Viz up is that this is primo Wile E. Coyote opportunity. You have also landed an extremely juicy hit on your intended target. You have also caused collateral damage to at least one cop mech. Others are scrambling.
We do love
I should note that the one that was a turtle on its back is still sort of spinning hopelessly. It's beginning to smoke. It might actually explode soon.
So as a point of mechanics, what is our brawl counter at currently? Still -1?
You have now gotten the brawl counter to 0. There are still very, very many more of them than there are you, but you're beating the shit out of them at every opportunity.
Marvelous.
Thank you for reminding me to note that mechanical. I get so sucked into the vivid prose of this.
Exactly. You get
it.
Me.
Definitely invites it, yes.
It does.
It should also be noted, since we have all been mentioning our olfactory contributions, the entire edifice of my mech gives off a horrifying scent that is at once reminiscent of a well-cooked steak and the meaty aftermath of a lightning strike.
Lightning strikes do not always have meaty aftermaths, but it's... You know what? I'm actually going to say for Bill, they do. So...
That's normal in Vancouver, don't you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it is normal within 100-meter radius of me.
Yeah. Some of that witchy shit. So things are going well. I should also note that the richest man in the world is currently screaming at one of his bodyguards that he can't have his money, god damn it. He makes his salary and he should be glad to have it, and he is not being dank. That bodyguard is effectively not in the fight yet as a result, and the other bodyguard is still ensconced in multicolored
is still
ASCII.
tripping bright.
Completely tripping bright, is essentially covered in ASCII characters the color of magic, right? It's sort of a blue, green, purplish sort of a color.
The eighth color.
The eighth color, exactly. Octarine, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah. Roy G. Biv, question mark?
Yeah, exactly. So Octarine ASCII. What's interesting is that even though it's not moving, it appears to be in several places at once. It seems to... The impression is almost as though there are many realities and you can see them all, and it's in all of them. Something very odd is happening to reality around this thing. The bright appears to be teaching it about possibilities it would rather not contemplate. It's not fighting effectively.
You love to see it.
Cops are still pouring forward. As the host is closer, you can actually see that there are non-cops in the party. All of the other functionaries who disappeared seem to be there too. They seem to all be in muskox mechs of one kind or another, some of which have already fallen over and begun to smoke.
Shouldn't have
Do
enabled
they just have
self-driving
bad
mode.
autopilot?
remote high five with this for the same joke at the same time.
Yes.
Coincidentally, at that moment, one of the cop mechs sprints into the sea.
Knocking over 2 pedestrians on its way.
You can hear the cop swearing from inside of it.
In my mind,
this song.
and this is not cop accurate, but I had a life sciences teacher in 7th grade who apparently swore a lot in her life outside of school, and so had a bunch of pseudo swears ready for in school. And so when something would happen untoward in the classroom, she would say something like, "Oh, turkey feathers," and then accuse us of making her lose her religion. And I really appreciate this opportunity to imagine my 7th grade life sciences teacher and a cop mech running into the sea.
Look, we don't always know what kinds of gifts we're going to be able to give each other, but you just have to take the opportunities as they come. Cop mechs are pouring to the shore. Some are once again trying to leap across. None of them are acting as bridges, interestingly enough. Although, as some of the other government functionaries make their way to the shore, a few of them look like they might try. They're stretching and testing and seeing how many of them it might take, linked hand to foot, to allow the brave officers to do their jobs, which is all they're trying to do. That being said, a good dozen cop mechs have managed to get across in some form or another. A few are scrabbling against the cliff on your side. Others are fighting the people of Mas Dida, who are holding their own, but again, sometimes aflame.
Mm-hmm.
On the horizon, you see one of the mechs outright explode, and limbs fly everywhere.
Steaks on the menu.
Coming around to a new round, probably Viz gets to go first. So
yeah, this is all you,
Mhm.
Viz.
Thus you roll with it. Thus you with the advantage.
There are several cop mechs in evidence. The owl, however, is the closest to you, and you've been sort of explicitly set up to do something about this. Now, I will note, if you want to kill it outright, A, the counter's at 0, and B, you'd be rolling with disadvantage due to your recent brush with death.
Mhm.
But if you want to simply smash them up real good, you're in a good position to do so. You'd be rolling with advantage.
I also want to send the owl into the ocean. However, Des in the comments mentioned that someone should Koopa shell the cop on its back. Where exactly is that located? just as I'm weighing my options here.
That'd be right in front of Rad. So let's say 3 healthy mech paces to your left. Just enough time to build up a good Mario run and kick that thing into the question block that we call life.
So it is possible, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, you could do that on your turn. That'd be the whole of your turn. And it would be, given you're rolling with advantage, you'd have a decent chance of a good kick.
Oh, choices.
Or you can trade it all in for what's in the box. I don't know what I'm fucking saying.
What's in the box?
That's not a mechanic. I'm sorry.
The gears were turning and going nowhere on that.
It feels very much like door number 1 or door number 2. That was the intended joke. But
yeah.
Switch.
I'm just gonna continue my connection to this owl mech. And
yes.
as I prepare to smash them into the sea with the bone what has shrapnel in it, I will look at them with the hanging, dangling appendage that might pass as my eyes and head and say, actually, what you seek is down. And then smash them.
yeah.
Unfortunately,
roll smash for
advantage
me.
does not stack. So,
Advantage doesn't stack. That's true.
so I'm still rolling with 3 die.
No such thing as super advantage in this system. That's true.
However, I rolled 2 5s and a 1, so I'm putting that 1 aside and saying that is a solid 13.
Yeah, that's good. So reminder that you can pick 3 things from the menu. So you could kill something weaker than a mech. In this case, maybe you could even interpret that to be you're not necessarily killing the owl mech, but you're killing the owl man inside.
I was going to say the richest man in the world is not in a mech.
Yes.
That is true.
I actually abstained from saying that during Dez's turn. So
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
Apologies for being the one to break the seal then.
The richest man, the
I
richest
just
man in
try
the
to be
world.
respectful.
I had considered, but I think that
It would be
I am fairly
anticlimactic too.
It would be
Yeah.
anticlimactic, and also Bill is more defensive, I think, than offensive in his
Perfectly
aspect.
fair.
The actual reason that you probably can't do that is that it would be anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm.
The bullshit mechanical reason I'll give you is that you're not quite in range.
Mhm.
We're going to say that although you can jupe more or less at will, that would take an action. So you're not really able to swing at the richest man in the world. If you were to try to get within range of the richest man in the world, at least one bodyguard would probably try to stop you.
Mm-hmm. So I can choose 3 from the menu, correct?
You can. You can.
So
yeah.
I will
you
avoid
you could
taking-
daisy chain an opportunity for someone else, for example.
Yeah,
Or
I
avoid
will-
getting hit. Yeah.
I will avoid taking a hit, daisy chain, and kill the owl within the owl mech. Is that?
Sure. I mean, given that he's already at a disadvantage, right? Like generally
Yes.
reaching into somebody's mech and scooping out the delicious goo inside is somewhat frowned upon in the system, but a lot has already happened to this guy, so I'm going to be okay with
I mean,
that.
you could just, stomp appropriately such that it's at about the neck place.
Yeah. So one other thing, one formality, you do have to call who you're setting this up for. Who's going to be set up next?
I believe Rad is next, and Rad has a
Usually.
excellent opportunity.
Okay.
Though I will
so
point
you're
out my
setting up
corpus is -1, so
Yeah, it's up to you. Like you can either set up Rad or Bill, but you've got to say who it is now.
Yeah, I will. Actually, Bill set me up, so I will return the favor.
Love
Since
it. Love
like
it.
corpus at 1 is
That's
a little bit
delightful
of
of you.
Chain of friends.
Yeah.
So what you do is pick up the owl.
I do have a flaming cop arm attached to my bone. What has shrapnel on it? Can this play a role?
I cannot thank you enough for reminding me. With one of you, what passes for your normal appendages, you lift this owl mech up. It looks you dead in the face, and although it's looking at your mech, it sees muskox. It looks at you for paternal approval. Finding none, it suddenly feels a sharp bone what has shrapnel in it. It feels that a moment before it feels the flaming cop arm rip into the chest cavity and fill the inside of the mech with fire. The owl man inside, still muttering a thanks to the brave men and women in law enforcement, flees the flames and falls into the chasm, into the open mouth of a very large shark.
Yes. Can I drop
Because-
the mech into the ocean as well?
Six Semper bootlickers.
For those who are concerned, because he hit the water, the shark was not harmed.
I was
Thank you for-
concerned.
The flames are steam by the time the shark, like it's like a you get off the hibachi when it's still a little too hot, like it's, you feel it, but the shark's fine.
Oh, good. Because one of those is a dangerous creature and the other is a cute shark.
I just had a vivid image of shark hibachi. And I don't know where it's going to appear in the future, but it's definitely going to appear in the future. Maybe not on this podcast, but somewhere.
But maybe on this podcast, dear listener.
Years from now, shark.
This is what we call planting and payoff. Okay. I think generally Rad does go next.
Generally.
Although before we move on, if Viz would like to say a few words, now would be the time.
What happens to the cops that are on the back of the owl mech that was picked up?
One fell outright. A couple are clinging to the cliff because this was made quickly. You've never actually seen the inside of one of the holes you've made before, but it turns out they're quite jagged. One could probably climb out of one. The fact that no one ever has tells you that they're probably very deep.
Good.
So a few of them are trying to scrabble up the cliffs. If this were a siege, you could, this is where the hot oil might come out. Some of the others are still sort of trying to pull themselves up from the cliff. And still others have managed to right themselves more or less and are scrapping with other Mas Didians. I don't think that's what they're called, but we haven't decided what they are, so whatever, on the cliffs. Oh, one important thing, Viz. You're still holding this mech. You just drop it? Or,
Yeah, can I like drop it? And if like now that I know that folks fell off of the owl mech and are trying to climb up, I just kind of drop it where they are, just like a child dropping something to see if it trips any of their friends. Like the stick being thrown at a cyclist sort of deal.
Sure. The owl mech lands directly on the face of one of the cop mechs trying to climb back up. The neck snaps back with a terrible, sickening sound. The mech keeps trying to climb, but now the face is a rictus grin looking straight upward, the neck bobbling about uselessly. It sucks for him.
Excellent.
I now have Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult stuck in my head.
Wasn't my intent, but you're welcome. Okay, finally. Sorry, Rat, your turn.
You're all good. This may be a troublesome question, but I have -1 corpus. This has been a problem for me in the past. And if I roll nerve, I get magician slime, but I have kind of control F'd through the rulebook, and I'm not entirely sure what nerve is used for. It doesn't seem to be associated with any specific moves. So I was hoping that you could enlighten me. What are my options for using nerve?
So nerve really represents your abilities and powers that sort of interface with the world while you're in a mech. So the real function of nerve is to do anything you would normally do with your chill stat while in the mech. That was why I had to correct myself and say that one of Dez's rolls was actually plus nerve earlier. And it didn't affect the roll in that particular case, but that's the main stuff. A lot of the things that are going to be nerve based are going to be probably like pulses you didn't pick. If you want to do some non-combat stuff in your mech, then it could be relevant, but it's not especially relevant to most smashy activities. Indeed.
Well, I imagine that the most constructive thing that I can do now is smash then, even at the disadvantage that my -1 corpus puts me at. So I think my inclination is to contribute to some of the fights that are going on with the people of Mas Dida. Just try to help them be more successful than they already are in pushing back the various mechs that have made it across the moat that I believe it was Belle that put in place.
Oh yeah, I'm responsible for many obstacles.
Great business card, frankly. So yeah, I'm gonna, I guess, using my judgment, try to pick the most effective possible intervention to help out the crew supporting us and put a smash there, as it were.
Sure, sounds good. So I'm going to say that actually what you do is queue up, you pick up the mech that is, or drag the mech that is currently rolling around like a turtle, and you set up Olivia to Koopa Shell that fucker.
That sounds great.
Sounds good. And I'm sorry, remind me, you do still need to roll here, or you've already...
I mean, I just rolled. I wasn't sure if you're going to ask for a number or not, but if we're doing corpus, then my roll went to 6.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you set it up. She's going to be able to kick it, and in fact, she does. She takes the cue that you have put up. She puts the leg of her mech back theatrically. It does not make the Mario Koopa Shell noise, because that would be silly. But it also does, because that would be silly. It goes flying, maybe not exactly in the direction that she intended. It knocks a couple of the mechs that were perhaps flaming or smoking into the chasm. They go tumbling end over end. However, the Koopa Shell mech explodes before it fully gets away, and a couple Mas Didans do get singed. We're going to call that a status for the crew, actually. We're going to say, what the fuck, why do these explode, is the name of the status.
I don't know if it's ever come up, and it may not be super important, but do we know what Olivia's mech looks like?
You're asking me to remember something from the first episode.
I'm really sorry.
No, you're fine.
One GM to the other. My profoundest apologies.
I believe what we said was that it was essentially an unusually muscular mech, broad-shouldered. It looked as though you wouldn't want to get hit by it. It was first and foremost a brawler mech. It's the kind of mech that you could also use for example, heavy-duty farm work, but mostly it just has a haymaker on it.
Thank you for the refresher.
You're very welcome. So the fact that you got to do some kicks from the legs really shows the versatility of the mech, and Olivia, for whatever it's worth, is pleased. I'm going to say as well, because we've established that Muskox's crew is a crew, they've taken 2 statuses at this point. What the fuck, why do these things explode is definitely one of the 2. And the other is, let's see, what do we call this? Let's call it, we thought we'd be greeted as heroes, as liberators, right? They really did not expect the degree of resistance that they're seeing. Some are already breaking and running. You can see some breaking for the ocean. You can see some breaking off of the road, and some, as they do, either veer in a direction they didn't intend due to some sort of autopilot. When they do, the giant thing that is a brain but is made of things other than brains pulses, for whatever that's worth. And some just explode outright as soon as they veer off the path. It is, on the other side of the moat, sheer fucking chaos.
Ooh, I think I've found my next target.
The brawl counter stands at +1. There are still very many more of them than you, but to call them a disorganized fighting force would be to do a great disrespect to the principle of disorganization.
I would like to back scratch.
Who would
Specifically,
you like to back scratch?
everyone within earshot. I am using my glow teeth to announce to all and sundry that cops belong in the sea.
Shit.
Yes.
If
Well,
you will
shit.
permit wizard shit to apply things slightly more broadly, if perhaps more shallowly.
Yeah. You know what? Give me that roll.
Look, I mean this perfectly sincerely. I love how consistent, Des, you are as a player. I would like my magic to do random shit is a wonderful move.
Is it that?
It makes it flexible.
Yeah. Again,
It makes
I
it
meant that
situationally appropriate.
perfectly sincerely.
It is delightful.
It also allows me to, ask favors of the GM and then eventually give them presents. That is an 11 on the dice, so 12 with the +1 awkward.
So it went well, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
The sea answers. You don't hear a voice. That would be impossible. There's no way that you're hearing a voice. I mean, Viz hears a voice, but Viz hears a voice most of the time. Actually, Viz suddenly
Also,
hears...
I mostly hear the desperate sing-song inner monologue of my mech.
You definitely hear that. And perhaps the desperate sing-song inner monologue of your mech is desperate in a more directed way than usual, marching off to war more than marching in place or pacing. Viz, you hear your life coach. You hear your life coach saying, "What lies beneath the depths? More depths, and worse things besides."
Praise Doggo.
Brad, you notice that Olivia and Kay are noticing something. There's a rumbling. Interestingly, the couple of cops who were dangling within the chasm are rising up because the water is rising up just locally, just there, like a great geyser. The seas have started just then to writhe. Water rushes out, but only over the side with cops on it, and it washes many of them away.
Beautiful.
There are things in the shallows, things that don't belong in the shallows. Tentacles writhe and grab, teeth with no mouths, no apparent mouths appear and snap and lacerate. It is terrible. It is wonderful. Many, many of these cops are washed away. What's left on the shore is a smattering of confusion and confused people and peoploids. and one bodyguard who is still ensconced in multiple realities. The realities have begun to separate on that one bodyguard. There's now a multiplicity, Roy G. Biv plus Octarine plus more, spread out, and they're getting thinner and thinner until finally that bodyguard simply ceases to be. And the richest man in the world says, "He's disappeared with my fucking money." And dives after him into nowhere. He lands in the Octarine, and suddenly there are 2 of the richest man in the world, and then there are 3 of the richest man in the world.
Shit.
4, 5, 6, multiple. But they snap back into place. He's unstable. He flickers. He's here. He's confused. He's afraid. He thinks for maybe the first time in as long as he can remember that he might have fucked up.
Perfect and wonderful.
The X flickers and falls over.
Of course it does.
Is it still glowing?
Yes, but weakly. Like a neon light that's sizzling and about to go out.
You know, I really do love my mech the way that I've designed it, and I would not change it for anything, but I am also now fondly imagining a cephalopod mech. Just thought I'd put that on record.
Oh my God. There might be more Meatpunks in the future, but look, dear listener, let me be real with you. This is a system in which combat, because it is so descriptive and so vivid and has so much character in it, can take a long time. It's getting late. And what was supposed to be 1 episode, then 2, has become 3. And I don't want it to become 4, 5, and 6 because we, the Dice Punks, if I may break the 4th wall, have other shit to do. So here's the other thing that happens. As the seas rise up, there's a new bridge. This bridge is also made of tentacle and flesh and scale. It's inviting. It gives you a clear path to the richest man in the world. The Battle of Mas Dida appears to be ending. The people are starting to realize that this is true. Some have certainly been harmed by the absolute in-function. Why was I going to say in-function? Some have clearly been harmed by the complete non-functionality of what they've been up against. But most are unharmed. There is a fishy bridge connecting you to a deeply confused, profoundly sad man.
I was going to say, usually Viz goes first in situations like these.
Yeah.
Invoking clicky nerves, Viz does in fact go first.
And what's our counter at?
Let's say the brawl counter's at +2.
Okay.
Viz is going to have an especially hard time killing specifically.
Mm-hmm.
You'd roll with disadvantage is all that means.
Okay.
But
So disadvantage, but +2.
But
there's
I
a
could...
yawning gap. And it may not be death.
Well, there's a bridge now, too. Oh, I see what you're saying. Better.
I mean, you could just
different
put
kind
the
of
richest man
gap.
of the world onto the bridge and see what the sea does in response.
Yeah, like I'm not going to be aiming to kill, but I think the answer is to smash this individual onto the bridge or chasm. Just kind of the equivalent of a volleyball player setting up the ball for a spike. Except in this case, the ball is a very sad, very confused, and horrible human.
Pompous little shit.
Sure.
So the big bone, what has shrapnel in it, will smash with advantage. I got 3 5s.
5 5s. That's too many dice.
Yeah, 3 5s. I was
36
not expecting...
5s.
That was so close.
That's just Shadowrun.
I was going to say,
so
Viz is
close
playing
to
Warhammer
including the
40k
counter.
right now.
You move exactly 6 inches. No, okay.
It was one of those things where I couldn't help but say out loud what I saw because I was not expecting it. So that's a
Sure.
13.
That's a 13.
Nice.
It goes well. What happens next is strange, even by today's standards. You progress across the fish bridge. It feels very strange under your mech's feet.
And
you
yet
can-
somehow I like it.
Somehow you like it, and furthermore, you can feel it, as though the feet are your own. Strange. Welcome. You cross the fishy, fleshy bridge, and you reach the richest man in the world, and you heft out of your yuck guts the huge bone, what has shrapnel in it. The one remaining bodyguard moves to stop you, and almost does. Once again, tries to block the bone with a cop-like, but not precisely cop-like beefy arm, besuited in charred flesh, and the bone snaps right through it. The arm is gone, and the bodyguard is considering a change in career. Because he was holding the richest man in the world, the richest man in the world is catapulted on to the bridge of fish. Lands there with a terrible squish, and a terrible plop, and a terrible preponderance of fishy mutters. Can fish mutter? They seem to be muttering. The sea will now judge the richest man in the world. Its judgment comes quickly. He sinks. He yells at the fish as he goes. He tells them they're poor. Have fun staying poor.
Have fun staying
says.
Piscine.
He doesn't know that word. So he doesn't say
Sorry.
That's too many syllables.
it. He hasn't learned a new word in a very long time. Only his face is left, as the rest of him has been pulled into a writhing mass of sea life. Of the kind of life he's never considered or cared much about, which is all life. You can say something to him if you want. Any of you, really.
Have fun being eaten.
Have fun being... Fuck you, he says.
I will salute with 3 different tentacles.
Is his face turning a color as this occurs?
Your color.
Oh.
Perfect. And your end is beautiful.
He is the perfect color until his head bursts like an overripe strawberry just before being pulled under.
I guess my contribution will be a brief pause followed by couldn't have happened to a more unpleasant person.
This would have been one of those we didn't see him die situations had his head not bursted like a ripe strawberry. The sea recedes.
I thank it for its assistance.
Tentacles where they can are still reaching for cops. You thank the sea, you say?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You're pretty sure it thanks you back, though you're not sure how you think that. Suddenly, the waves are no longer alive with things from every level of the deep of the shallows. Suddenly, the sea is the sea again. Suddenly, the beach is the size you remember it being. There are cops running away. There are a few cops still trying to enter Mas Dida and failing, being turned away. City Hall seems to be back, insofar as it's on the road, on a large pallet being dragged by several other mechs. Unfortunately, you know who made the pallet. City Hall is on fire and tumbling into the sea. You'll have to start over.
I mean, this way we'll at least get government functionaries who are not proto-fash.
You sort of know immediately which ones those are because several people, many people actually, are abandoning their mechs. Some cops, in fact. What you decide to do with them will be for another day, but plenty of people who had simply taken the offer from Muskox have decided the offer is no longer worth it when push comes to shove, and they're leaving their piece of shit mechs on the road. Many are exploding. The road, in fact, will need to be rebuilt. Mas Dida is cut off from the rest of the world for a time because of the sheer volume of stunted ambition mixed with insufficient skill that has literally exploded in its face. But The self-selecting group that has been trying to build a different kind of place has won the day, somehow, impossibly. The GM, in fact, has failed completely to challenge the players once again. Despite throwing literally hundreds of explosive mechs at them.
I mean, I think that
that's
had
okay.
we had another hour or two to play, there might have resulted some statuses, because my dice would eventually have stopped rolling nicely at me.
Mhm.
But I do have somewhat charmed D6s.
It's true. It's true. I, in a system like this, dear listener, cannot resist a good fourth wall break, but I didn't mean to distract from the real point, which is that they've won. Whether they stay here and try to build something, or whether they try to replicate their success somewhere else, it's actually almost doesn't matter at this point, right? Because anything seems possible once you face down the richest man in the world and realized that he's really just some asshole. Anything we'd like to say as we're winding down, dear players?
I think that I am going to spend a lot of the next couple of days both trying to just kind of help out around the place and also not just impress Olivia, but also impress upon her that I don't really get back together with my exes. So, what are you doing tonight?
What she's doing tonight is fixing shit with you.
And it's exactly what I wanted to do.
One cop wanders into town claiming that he's reformed and wants to rejoin society. He says he'll submit himself to a retraining program and take administrative leave. You and Olivia each punch him from a different side simultaneously, and he slumps to the ground. It is a very good date.
Exactly what I was going to say about it.
Bill.
I check on Robert, make sure, he's doing as all right as can be. I probably spend a reasonable amount of time sticking around town, particularly if he is doing so. I have no particular ambitions elsewhere in this, still even odds whether it's really a hallucination. My collaboration with the sea put it a little likelier again. Because really, is that a thing that happens?
Robert seems to insist that it does, but he refuses to elaborate. Once in a while, when he looks toward the sea, or when he looks toward the convention center where things got strange, or where he looks toward where the police commissioner's mansion used to be before a malfunctioning cop mech blew a giant hole in it, he gets a faraway look. But then he looks at you. And he says, maybe this is a dream.
Could be
Once
worse.
again, he does not elaborate.
Merrily, merrily, merrily.
Viz.
I sing my songs in my strange tongue to the ocean.
You do this, I'm going to say, often.
I feel like
One
this
day-
triggers an algae bloom.
One day you catch an algae bloom, and the color is perfect. And another day you catch the scale of a very large fish reflecting a sunrise in the bright. Not the actual sun, bastard, obviously. And it's perfect. For a moment, the bright is the perfect color. For another moment, the sea foam reflects the perfect color. A piece of sea glass is the perfect color. You seem to be on a roll. You found your color everywhere. You haven't left your mech in several days. You feel less and less of a need to. Your life coach has completely stopped using first-person pronouns, using any pronouns, actually, and still gets more information from the world. The only time this got strange, of course, was when your life coach said it was time to knock something off of a table. And the next day, Darcy telepathically said, I think our devils have been talking to each other. the last time in this week that Viz sees their color. They see it purely in their heads. They sing their songs to the sea, and at one point they close their eyes and see the color anyway. It's in them. I think that works by way of epilogue, although I should mention what happened to the fucking weasel people. Many of them scattered to the wind, of course. Some of them realized how stupid it is to enter a body modification cult of one kind or another. Several of them still thought that it was possible to raise muskox to godhood, as they confessed was their plan all along. These went down to the beach every morning to pray for the return of the richest man in the world from the sea, for surely wealth can overcome nature. And one day, all at a throw, they were eaten by a ghost.
Which you set up at the beginning of last episode. Nicely
Why,
done.
thank you. Mas Dida has thrived, and no one has seen the Menmoth since. And things are about as good as they could reasonably be. Thank you, players, for going on this very, very weird journey with me.
Thank you, GM, for taking
This has
us on
been
this
an
very, very
utter
weird
fucking
journey.
delight.
It has.
Why,
Here,
thank
here.
you. And thank you, dear listeners, for listening to another episode of Dice Punks. You can find us at dicepunks.com or on the wider web, not on fucking X or Twitter or whatever the fuck it's called, but on Co-Host. And are we on Blue Sky? Or, yeah, maybe
Soon.
We're, gonna
We're
be,
on
whatever.
Tumblr.
We're on Tumblr. Yeah, hell yeah, we're on Tumblr. Find us those places. Anything to say by way of goodbye, dear players?
You know, I was going to try to come up with something clever, but, you know, if you pick the right person to try to impress, not actually a bad motivation, long as they're impressed by the right things.
I just hope everyone finds their own color someday.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for listening, folks. And in life, in magic, and in GMs, try to find accommodating ones.
And as the poet once said, don't just talk of revolution. Don't avenge me pound for pound. There's just no end to the pollution. Rise up and rip this goddamn system down, because there ain't no hope till it tumbles to the ground.
Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in, and stick around through the admin stuff for wisdom from Viz's life coach. The songs in this episode, Mas Dida, and the acoustic version of the theme of the Dice Punks were written and recorded by the game meatster himself, Drew. Cover art and editing are done by Joanne, who has appeared on the podcast now and again. Check out her work around the internet, where she goes by Anything Sows. Site design and graphics for dicepunks.com are by Robin, and the player behind Viz, the Carmine Bright Child. Extreme Meatpunks Forever is by Heather Flowers and Aura Belle and can be purchased at meatpunksrpg.com. Give it some thought. We certainly have fun with it. Thanks so much for listening. If you liked what you heard, that's reward enough on its own, but if you're so inclined, you can help us out by rating and reviewing us wherever you listen to us, telling your friends who you think would like us to give us a listen, and even by heading over to our Patreon at patreon.com/dicepunks. We have fun rewards available to backers, including a patron-only Discord, and access to the Dice Peaks after show for episodes 1 and following. As we're at a rare opportunity for new listeners to jump on board with current episodes, anything you can do to spread the word to anyone who might enjoy our stuff helps immensely. We'll be back a day early on Halloween for our seasonal spookstivities, GM'd again by Drew. We hope you'll tune in again for it, and until then, remember, subtlety is for cowards, so be gay, pilot mechs, and kill Nazis.
The richest man in the world who is no longer the richest man in the world, in the time between the planning of this story and its execution, did more than 12 of the stupidest things anyone has ever done. In the time between our recording this and your hearing it, he will undoubtedly have done 12 more. We cannot outrun this train, though together, perhaps, we can derail it.